The Chamber recognizes the Earl Core Award winner as someone who really makes a difference in the community, someone who has an impact that spawns other great activities around making Morgantown a better place. And Hilda Rosenbaum embodies what's really the best that Morgantown has to offer, and that's its people.
Hilda was one of those folks, there's a small number in every community that has a great love for their community and is willing to do whatever they can to improve it. And her life is an example of what service to your community can be.
She was such a genuine and caring person. And when she was able to contribute through the Rosenbaum Family House, I know that it meant a great deal to her. Not only that the facility was there and in existence, but that it changed lives.
Through her vision, she's helped thousands and thousands of people really get the care and comfort that they need while seeking medical care at WVU Healthcare. From the day Rosenbaum Family House opened, we've been 100% occupied 100% of the time. There's such need, and we're grateful that Hilda lived out her vision and made it possible.
She first approached me 20 years ago and was insistent that we needed to do something for families who were coming here from long distances for care. And she would tell her story about how when her two children had cystic fibrosis back now over 50 years ago, and where the extent she had to go to get care for them, sleeping in waiting rooms on the East Coast and children's hospitals, and she simply didn't want others to go through that.
This was early in my parents' life. They had no money. My dad could not go with my mom because he would stay home with me, and my mother needed a place to stay and wanted to stay near my sister. My sister was very young. She was 2, 3, 4 years old. She couldn't leave her little girl. And she would sleep wherever she could find someplace to sleep. Sometimes it was on a mattress on the floor, and sometimes, if she was fortunate, it was on a chair. So from a young woman, I think my mother was formulating these dreams of someday building a family house to serve this purpose. Oftentimes at our house, there'd be people I didn't know. And those people were people that my mom had invited back to sleep at our house because she would be here at the hospital and usually in the area of the cystic fibrosis clinic. And she would meet parents of children who were severely ill here in the hospital, and they didn't have the money to have any place to stay, so they would come and stay at our house.
Hilda was a longtime donor to the Mon General Hospital Foundation, and in particular, she was very much associated with our pulmonary rehab department. She spent a lot of time with the pulmonary rehab folks and also spent time helping people within the hospital and within the community. It wasn't just a case of Hilda being generous with Mon General, she was generous throughout the community.
I think that my mother was able to go on despite all her sadness and grief in her life by doing all these wonderful things for other people.
This was never about her getting recognition. We didn't name the facility the Rosenbaum Family House for until 2 years after it was open. This was not about recognition for Hilda Rosenbaum. This was all about what's best for the people in West Virginia, what's best for the people we're trying to take care of at this hospital.
Two things that strike you when you work here and you work with the families and talk to them on a daily basis. One is just how appreciative families are and how much they tell you that they appreciate the services here at Family House during their time of need. The other thing is they often ask, can we meet Hilda Rosenbaum? Can we thank her? Can we give her a big hug? And just let her know how very special she is for making this possible for our family.
She has been a wonderful role model, not only for myself, but for her grandchildren and now her great-grandchildren who are hearing and seeing everything she did. I believe that when God made my mother as strong and spirited as she was, He threw out the mold.